Let's do it. Yeah, these pigeons are aggressive here. You gotta watch out. If you think you're coming into a city with weak pigeons, you're in for a surprise. Well, this street has a lot more restaurants. So the other street was a shopping street. This one is mostly restaurants. I guess the Portuguese eat lunch late and dinner late, so it's hardly anybody eating now. But
Tourist trap.
oh, this is a tourist trap? Okay. Well, we're tourists. We're trapped in our own trap.
Tour guides more tourists.
Wow, look at the tour guide speaking in the microphone for everybody. So many people listening to her. She must be very good.
No, that was Spanish.
Oh, it was Spanish? Okay. So we agree that Spanish and Portuguese are different.
Yes, they're different.
Look at the proximity of these buildings. Hardly anybody lives here anymore. I'd be surprised.
It's crazy.
You'd have to be insane to live here, yeah.
It's so loud.
You think there's people partying here every day? Every night?
I mean, imagine this in August.
In August it's probably like bawling.
College kids.
What is the appeal of the whole old town European, tight old buildings together? Who discovered this first? They're like, this would be good for tourism.
This
Is it nostalgia, you think, or?
This is probably started out by Americans, possibly Brits, places where they don't really have this,
Right.
and they're willing to pay money to see it.
So it is an American British thing. Well, Britain probably has
I think
it, but
now kind of everyone. This is like a must,
this guy's driving a car.
It's like the country house cottage where you're going to the village, cut open a pig or something, I don't know, cook it,
Eat it.
and just sort of like live the country life for a weekend. Even though you're not really doing it, because you're probably staying at a hotel, but in this type of tourism, you're walking the same streets that were supposedly walked by
Kings and princes.
I don't know, slave traders and things like that, right? So you're like, this is where it all happened.
This is where it started.
Even though this lamp wasn't here, the sidewalk probably had a different material,
They probably didn't even have glass windows.
right? It probably smelled a lot.
It
because of
smelled like
sewage,
really bad.
horses and things like
I mean,
that.
horse manure was the healthiest thing.
Right, but the
Everything else.
general look of these buildings was largely the same. The churches were probably here.
You think so, though? You think they had the same colors and everything back
I
then,
mean,
or?
it was here. Let's say that, right? So you can definitely sell it or package it as, hey, this is where it happened,
Right.
and now you are reliving a
Right.
part of history.
Huh.
Hard to do with like a suburb in LA.
Yeah.
I mean, you could
Studio
definitely do it.
City.
You could be like,
Sherman
this
Oaks.
is where the Karate Kid,
Right.
you know.
This is where the Karate Kid was shot. That's what you could do it there, only with movies. What is this thing?
Looks like something else.
It's oddly shaped, yeah. Right, so... Okay, well that explains the appeal.
Yeah, you see how cool it looks when the sun is bouncing off these facades?
Oh, it looks absolutely magnificent. It's as if they painted it just so that, you know, when the sun hits them, that's when you maximize that $1 million, that money
Italy's
shot.
unmatched because the way the streets and buildings are designed in Rome,
Right.
it's almost like guaranteed the sun's going to hit one or the other, you know? And the colors there, sort of a yellowish, with maybe red stripes or things like that, green. It was really made for the sun reflecting it and adding a different dimension.
Right.
This looks definitely nice.
The sun does add a different dimension. Look at it. Just absolutely magnificent. So we're headed down to the river, which is essentially a part of the Atlantic Ocean. So the ocean gets in and it forms sort of a river. What a beautiful day. Sunny. December 31st. December 31st. New Year's in Porto.
Kind of like,
To the river!
yeah, the early scene in Return of the King when they're protecting the West Bank River in the city of Osgiliath.
Faramir and his men.
Yes, Faramir is in charge of it. Obviously, they didn't have enough to him.
Well, he
And
put
they did
200 at Osgiliath.
a night sneak attack where they charged,
From the river.
they packed orcs into boats and they charged from the river and no one was watching it. And finally,
Were they not expecting it because they didn't think that orcs could swim?
I think they were expecting the attack to come from the other side.
Huh.
And then finally they came, they rushed to pack the defenses, but it was too late.
Look at it. Beauty. Just beauty. I'm almost on the verge of getting hit by trucks and cars. The riverbank from the Lord of the Rings. These Lord of the Rings references are making my trip. Wow. I mean, I don't want to meet a man that doesn't like this type of beauty. That would be a sick man. Inspired someone to draw this, chisel this. I mean, that guy is just sleeping off. You don't see many bums here. This is an odd sight. But mostly just people enjoying themselves. Fascinating. Fascinating stuff. I just enjoy this in silence for a little bit. The sounds of Porto. Imagining the ships coming in here back in the day into that harbor. Sailors coming in. with lots of diseases, possibly the bubonic plague that caused the Black Death, which might be responsible for the colors of these buildings. What do you think, Andre? Do you think the bubonic plague and the Black Death first came into that harbor over there from possibly Asia? The sailors coming in with syphilis, disembarking, and then I want to believe that most of these colorful buildings were brothels, and the first thing they did was possibly pass on the new acquired diseases.
Well, you know, all of the ports of Europe had a couple of things. One is they had a lot of merchants and sailors. They
Right.
also had soldiers, clergymen, and lots of prostitutes.
Right.
Because these were men that had gone in long journeys.
Okay.
And remember, at that point, the only way you could pretty much have intercourse outside of marriage was with a prostitute. So adding that, stacking that on top of the port trade merchant environment, you could definitely see how a lot of these buildings were probably what's called inns.
Huh.
And in the inn, you had a lot of ale, which was, beer or lager. And then men would come in, drink lots of beer, drink lots of wine. And then if they had money, they would pay for the company of a woman. And that was pretty much a lot of the port towns.
Well, I guess I want to believe you. It's just that there's also a lot of churches next to these brothels
Yeah,
and
as
inns.
I said, the other piece of this is that there's a lot of clergy as well.
Right.
Because men want to be absolved of their sins. They may have come from places where it wasn't even Christian.
We can't even
places.
blame them because they're out there. Look at them. They're out there. They're in those ships. They're in those boats. They're alone with many other seamen for long periods of time. Nobody knows if they're going to live or not.
Right, they might be coming from other parts of Europe or elsewhere.
So the spread of disease happened right here. We're essentially walking through history.
Yeah.
I like it. I can feel it a little bit.
Let's hope we don't feel it too much.
No, let's hope not. Well, I'll get a tea or a chamomile later. Hopefully that'll... Something that the sailors did not have access to. We're spoiled. Just spoiled. Show you some of this. Wow. Such beauty. I mean, we're just joking around, but this is just spectacular.
Oh, the Beatles, Paul McCartney song.
Some guy singing a Paul McCartney song. I'm on 30% battery. Watch out, there's a car behind you. It's not a Dacia. What beauty. What beauty. Lots of artists here. Artists, tourists, people that like to drink, bums. Everybody's out here today. Everybody wants to enjoy the new year wants to bring it in style, and why not? Why the hell not? Worked hard all year long. Everybody deserves this. You deserve this. Everybody deserves this. We're going for the bridge.
We're gonna try when we come back to cross the bridge on the upper.
I don't think I have enough battery for that. All right, crossing the bridge. Holy shit, it's tight here. It's really tight.
Like the San Francisco Bridge where you had a wider.
Yeah, well, everything is bigger in America. The Brooklyn Bridge, you mean? Yeah, this is really tight.
No, it was the Golden Gate Bridge.
Ooh. Yeah, I think it was a Golden Gate Bridge. Alright, I'm getting kind of scared. Well, it's a good thing that we crossed the bridge. Now we could actually get a great view. Holy shit, another truck. This is the 5th time. Almost being killed by a car or a golf cart. I don't know what that was. But look at this view. This is what we came out on this side of the bridge for. Look at the view. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So gorgeous. It's hard to top it. That's the bridge we took. What do you think?
I want to say this is the way up.
Oh, there's another bridge, so you could go up there, and then you could take that bridge and you can go to the other side. Want to try that?
Yep.
All right. Sorry, guys. All right. We're gonna do the other bridge. Ponte Luis, the first. Is the other one called Ponte Luis the second? That's where we're going. Look at this view. This view is unbelievable. Like a postcard. All right. That is a postcard. Keep going up. The view just keeps getting better and better. The more high up I go, the more picturesque it gets. Okay, I think we almost made it up. And the view does not disappoint. It did not disappoint. So, my friend,
This is one of the views. We'll go up there.
more view.
That's the prime view.
Ah,
But yeah,
prime real estate.
We're up you go, the better the view. You
Yeah.
get rewarded for the steps you put in.
It's like a video game. The vista points keep getting better. Well, many centuries ago, the Portuguese Empire owned half the world. No, maybe that's not right. Maybe a third of the world, maybe a quarter of the world.
They own at least a chunk.
But they owned at least a chunk, as I'm being told. Well, today, the magnificent city of Porto stands tall. These are the people that owned that big chunk. Look at the colorful buildings, the clothes hanging from some of the windows, possibly due to the lack of dryers. Some renovated castles and cathedrals. I don't think there's any fishing going on in the winter in the river right now, but there's a lot of tourist boats. So once a great and mighty empire, today a touristic city filled with Airbnbs and hotels, masquerading the centuries-old apartments, who I hope have been cleaned, refurbished, and can now serve the many tourists from North America and Western Europe to come here and experience what generation of Portuguese royalty experienced. The sailors coming in from the many different ports, bringing in so many diseases. And well, today, the joke's on them, because there's no plague big enough to...
You're still recording?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying to close it on a positive note with the bubonic plague, but...
Yeah, it's...
We're officially tapped out.
How much you got left?
Possibly a minute, probably less. Let's just enjoy the view. I think the view speaks for itself. No need to end it. All right, I think we're gonna take one more bridge to go down. Look at this.
Porto is definitely a surprise for me. Even though I did have expectations. This is the tourist city that's, non-beach resort town of Portugal, but it's still a tourist city. And it definitely beat expectations. There's a lot to see here. You can't get it done in 2 to 3 days.
No, you definitely can.
Yeah, there's definitely a ton to see, a lot of history, a lot of architecture, a lot of great buildings. And just the way it's laid out, you've got an area on the other side of the bridge. You've got the, what's known as the Riviera area, which is where a lot of the Airbnbs and hotels and things like that are located. And then you've also got a lot of the, you even have a chairlift. So the way it's organized, they did a great job here, kind of blending in modern tourist needs with a very old town. You can get this very wrong, and you can get this right, and they got this right.
Yeah, it was definitely a surprise. I was getting Prague vibes at first. Prague might be on a different level, but you can't beat the sun. December 31st. There's so much sun. The weather alone is just so much better. And it's just absolutely beautiful, absolutely stunning. I was stopping every 2 minutes to take pictures with my phone. That's how beautiful it was. Yeah, this is Porto. That is a Dacia right there. Ah. See? These cars are popular in Portugal. Yeah. It depends on time of day. Sometimes they're open, sometimes they're closed. Okay. No, you don't want to get drunk there. Wow, look at the lineup for that grocery store.
In that lineup early in the morning.
Huge lineup.
Got a couple of frozen pizzas and what I thought were
Frozen pizzas in Portugal.
yeah, you know what? They were like $2.50.
$2.50 for a frozen pizza. You know it's good. I mean, you know it's real food in
Yeah, I
there.
got the expensive one. There was one for like $1.89. But I said it's New Year's.
Big baller.
Why not
I like it.
splurge a little bit?
Damn. Well, when in Rome, when in Porto. Porto. Now, Puerto Rico, is that part of Porto or is that like a different thing?
Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory.
Right, but
Now, they don't actually vote. Their votes don't count for the presidential election in the U.S.
They don't?
Or Congress.
really?
But they do vote in the primaries,
Uh-huh.
although they don't really count towards any of the elections. They do have their own local officials.
Huh.
What I've heard, I've never been there, what I've heard is they declared bankruptcy a couple of times. And I guess they're having trouble.
Well, maybe I should go to Puerto Rico and help them out. I love the name, Puerto Rico. I mean, that just,
I think it
that means like rich something. Rich port.
I guess.
Oh yeah, let's sit down for maybe they have a tea or something. My throat is killing me. Yeah, this is an interesting place. What is this called? Café Portugal? Café Mercador. Okay.
Oh, it's actually a food place.
Well, this was a food place? But we already ate. Alright. Let's see if they have tea.
You know what? I'm gonna get beer. Anyway,
Alright, I think we're gonna try the wine in Porto. Now, what was it? About
€4.
€4? Is this a glass?
Yeah, it's all
What does
glass.
copo?
It's glass.
It's glass? Okay.
Euro is bottle. That's the top.
I can't speak Portuguese. I don't know what this means. Parceria. Okay, we'll figure it out. Well, we went for the slightly more expensive Ruby Porto wine. That's €4.50. This might be the sweetest wine I've ever tasted in my life. It's so sweet. It's not. I mean, I thought it was like a soda or something. It's really sweet.
It's like a diet Pepsi.
It's very sweet.
In fact, I'm so unsure that this is wine. I have to
Yeah.
see how I feel when I drink it.
Tastes more like licorice than tastes like wine, but we're not complaining. What do you think about the New Year's festivities here?
Well, it's pretty early. So right now, it looks like any other day. The you're in a cafe drinking wine, beer. Some people are drinking teas and eating cakes.
Yeah.
That's really fun. We did see the city set up a concert, which kind of sucked because it blocked an area that would have presented with some great views over all of the historical.
They totally blocked it.
Porto.
Yeah.
And they blocked it by putting up the staging required to hold this concert. Because they didn't practice ahead of time. They showed all the microphones and speakers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I thought that was kind of shitty that they did that. They had a bunch of bathrooms in there, and that was supposed to be the area with one of the view from the other side of the old town. I mean, we still did get the bridge and everything. We went to the other side of the bridge, and we got spectacular views. But
yeah, this is more in city.
This is in city, yes.
Outskirts of the Riviera neighborhood.
Right.
Functional part of Porto.
But you can't blame them. I mean, people want to enjoy too. They want to celebrate. They want to do what they want to do.
So they're gonna be ringing in the New Year's concert, and I'm gonna be guessing fireworks as well.
Well,
But I don't think this is one of those places where they let people buy fireworks. I think this is organized, regulated fireworks, strictly executed by city officials. This
You
isn't
know,
like
but that
Miami
doesn't
Beach, where the whole beach is like for people.
oh, Miami goes wild. LA goes wild too. LA goes wild for 4th of July. Remember 4th of July during COVID when everybody was pissed off? So it was such a massive display of fireworks that people are like, I think they burned houses down. I mean,
That was
it's
just an
insane.
annoying time. I want to blog that part out.
Yeah.
I in no way, shape, or form want to remember anything, even remotely positive about that whole era. It was just a waste of time. It's sort of like your best self at that period of time was stagnation. It was just a total catastrophe for any reasonable human being.
What a horrible time to be alive. But it's a great time to be alive now. As travel's back on, everybody's having fun, everybody's enjoying themselves. And that's what we want. That's what we want to do. We just want to have fun. Let's go places. We don't want people telling us what we can or cannot do. We want to be able to go out, enjoy, be spontaneous, sit down for a glass of wine, a bottle of wine, a bottle of beer, coffee, tea, whatever. Go into a church, get out of the church, do whatever you want to do. It's nighttime in Porto, and the streets are lit up. Not a big fan of that wine. It's too sweet. Kind of thick too. I didn't know wine could be thick, but that one was pretty thick.
That was wine for like 17-year-olds.
Exactly.
Switching from Diet Pepsi.
That was kind of like Coca-Cola wine. But not complaining. Lots of vino places in Porto. It's actually one of the things that the city has to offer, other than its magnificent old town, is many tavernas. Tavernas? I feel like people just walk around and drink, find places to drink and eat. Not a bad life. Of course, most people here are tourists. I'm pretty sure most of the local Portuguese have work to do.
Well, it might be tourists from other parts of Portugal,
There might be tourists from other parts of Portugal. I'm hearing a lot of Italian tonight, so a lot of Italians might come to Porto. for their vino. Oh, look at this German store, Alle Hopp, with a cow. Never quite able to figure out what that was, but I've seen them all over Europe. Alle Hopp. Well. Old Town Porto. Nighttime. Very charming. Very charming. Very lit up. Well,
The closer we get to the river,
the colder it's gonna get. Okay, we're probably gonna turn back. I think this is the end of the road. The closer we get to the river, the colder it's gonna get. This was Porto with all of its magnificent architecture, buildings, wines, and whatnot. Next up, I forgot which city. Bilbao?
Bilbao.
Next up, Bilbao. So that's pretty much it.